imagine this. I run a successful door-to-door sales business that if I go to work each and every single day, I'll be confident that I'm going to make $1,000 plus daily. But because I have sales reps working underneath me, I got complacent. I'd run our daily sales trainings right in the morning at around 10 a.m. every single day. And after the trainings were done, I'd send the reps out to area and I'd tell them that I have some work to do. So I'd stay home, the reps would leave, they head out to their area to go work. And within 10 minutes of the reps leaving, I'd hop in my car and I'd drive 5 minutes down the street to the local cannabis store where I'd buy a joint. It wasn't even 11 a.m. and you'd see me outside smoking a joint and getting high. And you know how it gets when you start to smoke. You start to get a little bit disoriented, maybe you get a little bit of brain fog, and you can't do any work, you can't get anything done. And so instead of doing anything with my day, since I had no plans, I'd head straight downstairs and I'd boot up the PS5 to play some video games. Sounds familiar, right? My name is Bailey Wolf, and my mission is to help young men escape modern addictions through self-improvement and mental health practices. If you're serious about finding yourself in this world of distraction, then hit the subscribe button right now to join the Wolf Pack and watch this video all the way through to see how you can escape these two bad habits today. So why do we find ourselves consistently turning back to weed? The simple answer is it provides most people, including myself, an escape out of our shitty average lives. If you've got depression, no worries, bro. Just smoke a joint. It's all good. Maybe you're feeling a little bit anxious. Just pop an edible. It'll be all right. I remember when I first started smoking, it's quite enjoyable to start off, right? I mean, you start smoking, everything's a little bit different, right? Everything's kind of hilarious. You'll find yourself rolling on the floor with one of your best friends, laughing at the stupidest things ever. Or if you've ever used it for the gym, you'll find that when you're training while high, you can just feel the muscles activate so much more intensely. But as it becomes more of a habit, you'll start to realize that you start to get this paranoia and anxiety just consistently. And it's a repetitive cycle. It happens almost every single time that you smoke. And it's kind of this feedback loop in which at the end of the day, when you smoke the joint, you don't even want to smoke the joint, but you do it anyways. And you feel this inner doubt inside of you with the paranoia and anxiety kind of all combining at once. And then you just go ahead and you smoke the next day, even though you had those thoughts, and the same thing just repeats and repeats over and over. But it's funny how everyone online tells you that it's not an addictive drug when consistently you're using it every single day without fail. Weed almost turns you into a fucking vegetable. Like, you feel too foggy to get anything that's important done. If you had a plan for the day and you smoked, there's a good chance that that plan totally diminished and you're doing absolutely nothing with your day. And the most common resort for everybody, and including myself when I do get high, is turn on the PS5 and start playing some video games. If it wasn't enough to escape your reality with a drug, video games takes escaping your reality to a brand new level. Video games gives you the opportunity to be anything that you want to be. You can hop into Minecraft and build a castle or a log cabin, even place two beds beside each other to simulate the idea that you actually have a girl in your life. If you're feeling you want to be a superhero today, you can hop into Spider-Man, you can swing through New York and fight off crime as much as you'd like. The new Spider-Man is pretty good though, I can't lie. Of course, video games is so appealing to young men when the thousands of video games that are out can appeal to any mood that they currently have. The problem with video games is you'll find that 3, 4, maybe even 8 hours of your day just magically goes missing like that. Time is the most valuable resource in the world. If you want a relationship with a woman, in due time you'll get there. Financial independence, absolutely possible with time. Anything that you actually want to achieve, if you give it enough time, you can get there in this life. Now, I'm 22 years old and I've been playing video games my entire life. To a certain degree, I can see the benefits of leaving this reality in a sense for a certain period of time to give yourself a break from this world. It can be exhausting, it can be tiring being out here. And this just gives you a chance to relieve some of that stress and hop into a video game and have a good time with some buddies or even just on a single player story. But the majority of men have absolutely zero self-control when they're playing video games. Is how much time they're spending playing these games. And how can you? When you're so engulfed in the story, you genuinely feel like you're a part of this world and that character is literally you. Now, how can we spend so much time in these fake realities when we're living in the best video game that was ever created. So, what can we do to escape these habits that have been ingrained in your day to day life? The first step is to admit that you have a problem. Now, a lot of you are going to click off the video at this point because your ego can't handle the fact that I told you that you're addicted to a substance or addicted to gaming. But these are habits that I've struggled personally with for years. They're things that I still do to this day way more often than I'd like to do. So, after I admitted that I had a problem, the first thing that I did was I took my journal. You can take a pen and paper right now, and I wrote down just 3 simple words: I forgive you. When you forgive yourself from something that you've been addicted to for a long time, this can just give you this sense of relief and provide you with this sense that you're actually able to move on and leave this in the past. But if you're going to remove habits from your life, you need to replace those habits so that you have something that you can go to and not default back to the bad habits when you're bored. So the second step is to include more delayed gratification activities into your day. Delayed gratification is the act of doing something right now that's not going to give you pleasure in the exact moment you're doing it, like eating a piece of chocolate. It tastes really good and it's going to give you pleasure now, but delayed gratification actually gives you pleasure in the long term. So it's something like building an aesthetic physique for yourself or learning a new skill. So if you use weed and video games to cope with anxiety and stress, the first thing that you can replace these habits with today is go to your local gym and buy a membership and start a regular training routine. You don't need to be an expert lifter. Even just within the first couple months of throwing some weights around, if you know the basics of form, you'll see some fantastic results really early on. A couple other quick habits that you can introduce today would be reading 10 pages per day of any type of self-improvement or self-development book, including meditation or prayer in your day, even just if it's consuming more self-improvement content on YouTube, whether it be from me or from other creators. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're spending your time consuming self-improvement content, there's a high chance that you're going to be including a lot more of those day-to-day activities in your life. You need to realize that you're not going to be perfect all the time, and it's okay to have those days where you mess up and you make a mistake. What I do when I've done in the past is I pick a day in the week that I schedule for myself to raise my hand, take accountability, and say, hey, today I'm going to smoke weed. Today I'm going to play video games, and I'm going to do so guilt-free without even thinking about it. And that just gives me the ability to move on the next day and feel like I've actually gotten those habits out of the way and I don't need them in my life anymore. Remember that it takes time for true change to occur. James Clear wrote in Atomic Habits that it takes 21 days to form a new habit and to break an old one. So if you hit a bump in the road, forgive yourself, move on, realize that it's okay, and that it's not the biggest deal in the world. With enough time away from weed and video games, you'll quickly realize it's something that you never even needed in your life, and you're glad that it's not a part of your life anymore. So if this video helped you, share this with a friend, hit the subscribe button, and comment down below alpha if you plan to implement these habits today. Thanks for watching, bro, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Wolf out.